What if waiting wasn't a void, but a message from Allah that you've never been able to decipher? You may think you've been forgotten, that your heart has prayed too much without an answer, that your love is somewhere in this world but still out of reach. But what if I told you that your waiting is proof that your love is already on its way? Not a passing love, not a toxic illusion, but a love written, desired, purified by Allah Himself. It's no coincidence that you've stumbled upon this message. It's no coincidence that you feel this loneliness with such intensity. Allah doesn't make you wait to break you. He makes you wait to better elevate you. And in this script, you will understand why you had to wait, why some people have left your life, and how, without even realizing it, you may be one step away from the love your soul has been waiting for all your life. Stay until the end. Because what you will hear here may be what your heart has been silently asking Allah for. 1. The divine wisdom behind waiting. We all experience moments of doubt, that feeling of frustration that arises when we are faced with an endless wait. You may be wondering, why is Allah making this trial last? Why isn't the love I desire manifesting itself? You are not alone in this ordeal. Many believers have gone through this same phase of silence and confusion. But there is one essential truth you must grasp. Waiting is not a punishment. It is divine preparation. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, never grants us what we want until the time is right. He knows what your heart desires, but He also knows what your soul needs. Sometimes we think we are ready to receive what we ask for, but Allah knows that our hearts still need to be purified, our faith strengthened, and our trials refined. Waiting is a test of patience and trust. It is an invitation to develop an intimate relationship with Allah, to seek Him more, to surrender to Him all that weighs us down. Allah's silence is not rejection, but an opportunity to draw your heart closer to Him. If you feel abandoned, remember those times when, in the darkness of the night, you called out to Allah with all your heart. Those moments of solitude, those sincere prayers were answered. But Allah's timing is perfect. He has not ignored you. Rather, He has prepared you for something far greater than you can imagine. Let's imagine for a moment that what you're waiting for happens now, the moment you desire it. Could this really be what your soul is seeking? Or are there still dark areas in your heart that aren't ready to welcome the pure and sincere love you're looking for? The truth is that waiting allows Allah to perfect not only what you're waiting for, but also to perfect you. He wants you to be ready for true love. And preparation, from God's perspective, isn't measured simply in terms of time, but in terms of inner purification. This means that every trial you've gone through, every pain you've felt, has a purpose. Every challenge is part of this grand divine plan that is shaping your soul for the precise moment when you will finally be reunited with the love you desire. You see, Allah doesn't do anything by chance. He tests you to purify you, to bring you closer to Him, and to align you with the destiny He has planned for you. When you accept this truth, you realize that waiting becomes sweeter. It is no longer torture, but an act of faith. Waiting pushes you to learn the true meaning of patience, sabr. In every moment of waiting, you have the opportunity to strengthen your bond with Allah, to be grateful for what you have, and to hope with confidence. True love is not built in the moment. It matures through trial and patience. It may take time, but each moment of waiting brings you closer to the ultimate goal. When you understand this, you understand that it is not the waiting that is difficult, but the understanding that Allah's timing is always superior to ours. He knows when you are ready, even if you don't know it yet. So, when you find yourself in moments of doubt or frustration, remember this profound truth. Waiting is a blessing in disguise, an opportunity for Allah to elevate you
and prepare your heart for a pure, sincere, and divinely orchestrated love. Patience, then, is not only a virtue, but a necessity on the spiritual journey. It may be the key that unlocks the doors to your destiny, a destiny where love will not just be an encounter, but a divine harmony between two souls created to meet at the perfect moment. 2. When your heart is ready, love arrives. You know, sometimes it's not love that's slow to arrive. It's just your heart that isn't ready to receive it yet. And it's hard to hear, I know. Because you may be thinking you've suffered enough, that you're tired, that you're ready for a beautiful story, stability, a shoulder to lean on. But let me tell you a gentle but essential truth. Allah never sends you a blessing before your heart is able to honor it as a rahmah and not turn it into a burden. The heart, that's where everything begins, and it's also where everything can collapse. If what we place there isn't received with wisdom, patience, and inner clarity, even the purest love can turn into a trial. Sometimes we ask Allah for a blessed relationship, but we fail to see that we still carry unhealed wounds, hidden grudges, and unhealthy attachments within us. How can a person hold another's hand if they have not yet released the shackles of the past? And how can we recognize true love if our vision is still clouded by illusions and unrealistic expectations? Allah, in His great mercy, withholds certain blessings not to punish us, but to protect us. He knows that some things given too soon can destroy instead of build. You don't want a love your heart can't honor. You don't want a relationship where your ego dictates the direction. You want a connection that uplifts your soul, not consumes it. So the real question isn't, where is the love? But rather, is my heart ready for what it's asking for? Ask yourself these questions in silence. Am I looking for a partner to fill a void, or to build a path together toward what is healthy? Do I know myself well enough to recognize what is good for me? Have I learned to calm myself when emotions overwhelm me? Have I purified my intention? Or am I just trying to prove something to the world? It all starts there. The heart is a garden. If you plant love in dry soil, it won't grow. But if you water it with faith, sincerity, clarity, then even the waiting becomes sweet, because you know you are preparing to welcome something great. And this preparation is noble. It is not a weakness to work on yourself. It is not a punishment to build yourself up alone before being together. It's even one of the most beautiful acts of worship, improving yourself in secret, to better love in truth. You don't have to be perfect, but you must be sincere. You don't have to control everything, but you must be ready to let go of what no longer has a place within you. Love doesn't come when you shout that you're tired of waiting. It comes when you are able to say, "Oh Allah, if what you have prepared for me is still on its way, then prepare me also for what you have prepared." There is immense peace in this phrase, because it signifies that you trust, that you are giving up control to choose connection. And it is in this state of heart that love, true love, descends, gently, silently, but with a force that transforms everything. Because it doesn't come to fill a void, it comes to complete a light already present within you. So purify your heart, not for someone else, not to impress, but because you deserve to receive love with clean hands, with a heart that no longer trembles, and with a faith that knows, what is written for me will come, and I want to be ready. 3. Signs that Allah is preparing you to love for Him. You may not notice it immediately, but signs appear. Subtle signs, invisible to the hurried eye. But those who slow down, who pause, who listen, begin to perceive them. When Allah prepares you to love for Him, your heart begins to change, gently, powerfully. It's not a sudden upheaval. It's a silent rewriting of your inner self, a gentle purification,
a reorientation toward what's essential. The first sign is that you become more patient, not just with time, but with yourself. You stop chasing love as an emergency. You realize that anything rushed often ends up burning your fingers. Your soul begins to understand that what is meant to last is not rushed. You sit in expectation, not like a victim, but like a trusting soul. You say to yourself, "Oh Allah, I don't just want to love someone. I want to love for you. And if that requires me to transform myself before meeting them, then I'm ready." And this patience manifests itself in your behavior. You become less impulsive, more poised. You no longer need to fill every void. You learn to be self-sufficient with what your Lord has already given you. And in this tranquility, you make room, real room. Second sign, your faith becomes more alive. You no longer pray just to ask. You pray to exist. You no longer make dua only when you're suffering, but also when you're calm, grateful, and aligned. A sense of peace sets in, a clarity. You feel your connection with Allah become more intimate. You understand that the strongest love is first the one you develop with your Creator, and it is from this love that everything else will be born. You see, Allah doesn't send you love so that you forget the one who created you. He gives it to you so that you love Him even more through this relationship. But for that to happen, He must teach you to love Him alone first. And that moment when you fall in love with your solitude with Him, that's when you're ready to love someone without losing your way. Another sign, sometimes less obvious, is that you're experiencing sudden changes. You're distancing yourself from certain people. You're losing connections that were once very strong. You feel your environment emptying. And that hurts, but it's a spiritual drain. Allah removes what encumbers you so that you can welcome what He has intended. This is not rejection. It is a divine reorientation. He removes what was harming your heart, even if you believed it was essential. You may also notice that your standards are changing. You are no longer simply looking for someone you like, but someone who brings you closer to Allah. You want a relationship that has purpose, meaning, and spiritual weight. You want a bond where love is not a distraction, but an ascension. And sometimes, Allah shows you these signs without you directly realizing it. He makes you love worship. He draws you to reminders. He instills in you a new modesty, rigor, and a search for sincerity in everything you do. He polishes your soul so that it can recognize what is pure and reject what is toxic. These signs aren't always spectacular, but they are profound. And if you open the eyes of your heart, you'll see that they've been there for a while. Every inner change, every step back from what hurt you, every return to a purer version of yourself. It is Allah who prepares you to love with nobility, to love with faith, to love for Him. So don't minimize the small steps. Don't neglect those moments when you feel sudden peace after a prayer. Don't underestimate this need to distance yourself from what drags you down. These are signs, silent calls, preparations. When Allah equips you, He starts from within, because that's where true love resides. And when the interior is purified, what comes from the exterior can only elevate you. 4. Why the wrong person leaves before the right one arrives. Stop thinking you're the problem. Stop believing this separation was a failure, that this emptiness is abandonment, that this distance is a punishment. It's not rejection, it's a redirection. When someone leaves your life, it's never without Allah's permission. And if that person left, it's because they were never meant to stay. Not for this next version of you, not for what you're becoming. You see, Allah doesn't take something away for no reason.
He removes what's unstable, what leads you astray, what exhausts you, not out of cruelty, but out of mercy. It's hard to accept at first, especially when you've grown attached, when you've planned, when you thought, this person must be the one. But emotional attachment doesn't mean it's a spiritual attachment. Sometimes you fell in love with a test, not a gift, and Allah, in His infinite wisdom, delivered you from it. But here's the trap. When we lose someone, we immediately think it's a loss. We don't realize that some losses are protections. Some absences are blessings in disguise. Some separations are proof that your Lord listens to you, even when you don't understand His answer. You asked Him for love. You asked Him for stability. You asked Him for a relationship that leads you to Him. But He knew that this heart, this person, this attachment would consume you. So He removed it, before it was too late. It's hard to see it as a blessing when you're in the midst of pain, when you look at your phone hoping for a message, when you feel an immense emptiness, a painful silence. But in that silence, there's a message that only a heart turned to Allah can hear. I have led you away from what was not meant for you, to bring you closer to what was written for you. Understand this. The person who hurt you, neglected you, abandoned you, or used you was just a passing act, a tool in God's plan. They taught you, they helped you grow, they revealed to you what you never want to experience again. You see, Allah knows you better than you know yourself. He sees the future you don't know. He knows the heart you will encounter, the one that will do you good, the one that will guide you to Him, not to error. But for that, you have to make room. The wrong person leaves so that the right person can find a pure space. Not a broken heart, cluttered, filled with regrets or bitterness, but a heart that is healed, a heart that has risen again, a heart that has understood that everything that is leaving was not a punishment, but a preparation. So today, if you mourn an absence, remember, you are not healing from a love. You are healing from a misplaced attachment. You are not losing a future. You are losing an illusion, and in return, you gain a certainty. Whoever Allah sends you will come at the right time, with the right intention, and above all, with a blessing. But first, you needed to be decluttered. You needed to be cleansed of what no longer felt like you. It's not a mistake that this person left. It's proof that your Lord wants to elevate you. He never takes something away from you without preparing something better. But the best never enters a space saturated with compromise. You deserve a love that elevates you, not a love that brings you down. You deserve a relationship built with Allah's help, not a connection forged in confusion and doubt. And that person you think you've lost, you'll soon understand that it was a deliverance. 5. When love is written, it always finds its way. You may have cried. You may have waited longer than you thought you could. You may have thought it was over for you. But what your heart sometimes forgets is that what is written for you by Allah is never lost. There is a love that doesn't hurry, that doesn't rush, that advances slowly but surely, guided by an invisible hand, an infinite wisdom. It is not a love made in fear or lack. It is not a race against time. It is a love decreed, a love written in the heavens before your heart even learned to beat. And when love is written, it never fails you, even if it takes detours, even if it arrives after the storms, even if it carves its way through the ruins of your disappointments. It comes when you are ready to receive it, not when you demand it, but when your heart has learned to stop begging. Allah's qadr is not in a hurry. It comes neither too early nor too late. It arrives exactly when it should,
with a perfection that can only come from above. You have not been forgotten. You have been reserved, set aside for something purer, gentler, more aligned with your fitra, something that won't hurt you for loving you, someone who won't destroy you for choosing you. Perhaps what you are going through now are the last steps before the encounter. Perhaps every tear you shed watered the soil where this love will blossom. Perhaps this silence you experience today is the preparation for the most beautiful dialogue between two destined souls. For Allah does not promise without keeping, and what He unites, nothing nor anyone can separate it. Not distance, not doubt, not past mistakes, not hurt. What is for you will come to you, even if it seems impossible, even if everything around you says otherwise. Because destiny is not what you chase. It is what recognizes you and reaches you at the perfect moment. You don't need to chase after what is written. You just need to walk with confidence, with that peace that says, if Allah has written it for me, He will bring it to me even through 1,000 detours. And this love, the one that soothes without enslaving, the one that uplifts without crushing, the one that guides without misleading, it is on the way. It passes through your silent prayers. It hears the weary beating of your heart. It makes a passage between yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's fragile hopes. And one day, perhaps an ordinary day, without any particular sign, you will look back, and you will see that Allah has heard you from the beginning. For when love is written, it always finds its way, not through force, but through faith, not through fear, but through certainty. And even if you don't yet see the path itself is already coming to you. Your heart has never waited for nothing. Every tear, every frustration, every prayer you offered in secret, Allah has heard them all. The love you seek is not lost. It is on its way, and when it arrives, you will understand every no, every silence, every detour. You will see why you had to wait, and you will thank Him for not giving you what you thought you wanted too soon. So now, if this message has touched your heart, save this video. Come back to it when you have doubts. Share it with someone who is also waiting. Because sometimes a single reminder can revive an entire faith. And remember, when Allah delays, it is always to give more.